At first it looks like a flock of birds, a few dark shapes moving against the horizon, then 10, then 50. Then the sky begins to organize itself. No pilot is steering each machine, no single commander is choosing every turn. And that is the unsettling idea behind autonomous drone swarms. Not one weapon, a system, not one decision. 1,000 small decisions, moving as one. This is HiTechnomy. Look beneath the surface of the future. Powered by Allegiance Labs, the swarm mind, and the future of autonomous war. For most of military history, power has been organized around control. A pilot controls an aircraft, a commander controls a unit, a radar operator watches a screen and calls the threat. But drone swarms challenge that architecture. They suggest a battlefield where machines distribute tasks among themselves. They share partial information, survive losses, and adapt faster than a human could manually direct. The swarm mind is not consciousness. It is coordination at scale. And its central question is simple. How much authority will militaries give to machines moving at machine speed? Picture a military planner watching this problem unfold. The operator is a composite, not one real person, but a stand-in for a growing class of operators and commanders being asked to manage unmanned systems in real time. On the operator screen, the battlefield is already crowded. Small reconnaissance drones, loitering munitions, air defense radars, jammed communications, friendly units moving through terrain that changes by the minute. Now imagine the operator has one drone. That is manageable. 10 drones? Possible. With a team. 100. The problem changes. At that point, the human is no longer flying machines. The human is managing attention, and attention becomes the bottleneck. This is why swarms matter. They are not simply more drones in the sky. They are an attempt to move some coordination away from human hands and into the system itself. Instead of telling each drone where to fly, the military planner might define a mission area. Instead of assigning every route, the operator might set priorities. Search this zone. Avoid this corridor. Relay data if communication drops. Do not engage outside these boundaries. The human becomes less like a pilot and more like a mission architect. That shift is subtle, but it is one of the deepest changes in modern defense technology, because the more machines coordinate for themselves, the more the battlefield begins to run on delegation. A flock of birds does not have a commander. An ant colony does not need a map in every ant. A school of fish can turn as if it were one body, even though no single fish sees the whole ocean. Swarm intelligence borrows from this principle. In computer science, one of the classic demonstrations is known as Boids, developed by Craig Reynolds in the 1980s. It showed that lifelike flocking could emerge from a few local rules. Separation. Do not collide with your neighbors. Alignment. Adjust your direction to nearby movement. Cohesion. Stay connected to the group. None of these rules says, become a flock. And yet, a flock appears. In military drone swarms, those basic ideas become much more complex. The drones may divide a search area, pass information through a mesh network, reassign tasks if one unit fails, fuse camera, infrared, radar, acoustic, or signals data into a shared picture. But the core insight remains the same. A swarm does not need every drone to understand the full mission. Each drone needs enough local information to make useful local decisions. And here is the biggest misconception. If a swarm loses its leader, shouldn't it collapse? The surprising part is this. There is no leader. There may be commanders. There may be mission objectives. There may be human authorization. But inside the swarm, coordination is often designed to be distributed. No queen drone, no master node, no single aircraft whose loss destroys the whole formation. The swarm survives because intelligence is spread across the network. This is why defenders cannot always stop a swarm by destroying one drone, and why militaries are interested in systems that can lose members and continue. The power is not in the individual machine, it is in the pattern between them. Militaries have been testing pieces of this future for years. The U.S. Department of Defense demonstrated Perdix micro-drones launched from fighter aircraft, more than 100 small systems showing collective behaviors like adaptive formation and distributed coordination. DARPA's Offset program explored how swarms of air and ground robots might support forces in dense urban environments. The Navy's Locust program demonstrated coordinated launches of small unmanned aircraft. And other major powers, including China, have publicly displayed large multi-drone launches from vehicles and fixed platforms. But the most important battlefield laboratory today may be less polished. The war in Ukraine has not shown mature, fully autonomous swarms in the strict technical sense. What it has shown is the rehearsal space. Reconnaissance drones queuing strike drones. Multiple FPV drones converging on one target area. Drone teams coordinating with artillery. Commercial systems modified, jammed, replaced, and modified again. This is where the military planner returns to the story. The operator future is not one screen and one joystick. It is a command interface where humans supervise groups of machines, approving objectives, monitoring confidence levels, managing risk, and stepping in when the system reaches uncertainty. The frontier is not just autonomy, it is human-machine command. A swarm looks resilient because it can lose drones, but it is also fragile in deeper ways. It needs communication. Mesh networks can reroute data when links fail, but electronic warfare can jam, spoof, or degrade the signals that hold the group together. It needs navigation. GPS can be denied. Spoofed coordinates can send machines into the wrong place. Alternatives like visual navigation, inertial systems, terrain matching, or cooperative localization all have trade-offs. It needs power. Small drones live under the tyranny of batteries. More range means less payload. More computing means more heat. Better sensors mean higher cost. And then comes the hardest problem: understanding the battlefield. A computer vision model may classify a vehicle, but is it enemy, friendly, civilian, abandoned, decoy, damaged, surrendering? At swarm scale, even a small error rate can become a serious incident. This is the dark edge of the shared battlefield mind. The swarm may see more than any one drone, but it may still misunderstand what it sees. Swarms are not unstoppable. Their rise is already driving a counter-swarm race. Electronic warfare tries to collapse the swarm's coherence. Lasers promise low-cost shots against individual drones if weather, line of sight, dwell time, and power allow. High-powered microwaves may affect clusters by disrupting electronics. Kinetic interceptors, rapid-fire guns, airburst munitions, and counter-drone drones all form part of a layered defense. But the strategic problem is cost. If a defender uses an expensive missile to stop a cheap drone, the attacker may be winning even when the drone is destroyed. This is why swarms matter geopolitically. They could threaten expensive platforms, airbases, radars, logistics hubs, and command posts through saturation. They could lower the barrier for smaller states or non-state actors. And they could shift military advantage from the nation with the most exquisite machines to the one that iterates fastest in software, manufacturing, and field adaptation. The arms race is no longer only about aircraft and missiles. It is about algorithms, coordination algorithms, perception algorithms, counter-swarm algorithms, human-machine interfaces that decide how quickly force can be authorized. In this world, the battlefield is not just physical terrain. It is an information ecosystem under attack. Return to the military planner. The operator authorizes a mission envelope. The swarm searches, classifies, reroutes, and adapts. A target appears. The system assigns confidence. The window to act is shrinking. If the military planner approves every strike manually, the swarm may lose the speed that makes it useful. If the operator delegates too much, the operator control may become symbolic. This is the central ethical tension. Meaningful human control. Not just a human somewhere in the chain. A human with real understanding, real authority, and real ability to intervene. Now imagine a mistake. A civilian vehicle is misclassified. A friendly signal is spoofed. A machine acts within its rules but outside human intention. Who is responsible? The commander? The operator? The engineer? The manufacturer? The state? The doctrine that accepted the risk? Here is the final thought experiment. If no single drone sees the whole battlefield, and no single human controls every action, then where does judgment actually live? In the commander's intent? In the software? In the network? Or in the moment when a human chooses to release a system they can no longer fully predict? The future of war may not be machines replacing soldiers. It may be something stranger, distributed intelligence, carrying distributed responsibility. If you enjoy deep dives into the technologies shaping our future, consider subscribing to HiTechnomy. This is HiTechnomy. Look beneath the surface of the future. Join us next time as we explore another technology, system, or breakthrough shaping our world. Powered by Alligence Labs.